Good morning, everyone. Students, this is chapter number 7, Sources of Business Finance, and here we have completed Honors Fund, where we have discussed the equity shares, preference shares, retained earning, ADR, GDR, and IDR. Right? Today we are proceeding with borrowed fund. Students, as its name is suggesting, borrowed fund, these are the funds which we have borrowed from somebody or we have taken the loan from someone. This can be your bank loan, this can be issue of debentures and bond, this can be trade credit and public deposits, right? There are the various methods to borrow the fund from the different sources, which we will be discussing one by one. All right, so borrowed fund refers to the funds raised through loan or borrowing. Borrowed funds have to be repaid after a specified period. That's mandatory to pay that back, and fixed rate of interest you have to pay on amount which you have borrowed. Okay, so the payment of interest as well as principal amount is a legal liability of the company irrespective of its earning. That means it doesn't affect either the company is earning profit or loss. It has to pay the interest, okay, on the amount which they have borrowed. The borrowed fund security holders don't get the right to sue the firm in case there is default in payment of interest on payment of loan amount. Students, this point is explaining that if you the loan which you have borrowed, right, and you have kept certain assets as a mortgage, okay, and you fail to pay the interest and principal amount, so in that situation the lender will not the lender can't sue you in the court because he has the hypothecation of your assets. Okay, you have kept your assets as a mortgage with that person, so if the person is having your assets as a mortgage, okay, so he can't sue you in the court. Fine. Now various sources of the borrowed fund are given here: debentures and bonds, loan from financial institutions, loan from commercial banks, public deposit, trade credit, and intercorporate deposit. Students, this last one, intercorporate deposit, has been deleted from your syllabus this year only. Okay, so we will discuss about the debentures today. See, debenture is a sort of acknowledgement of debt which you take from the people. Here company can issue the debentures. Okay, when company is taking loan from the public, okay, uh, in the way of debenture, so it has to issue a certificate, right? It has to certify the public that company has taken this much loan from the public, right? So the certificate which is issued by the company is called debenture. It's an acknowledgement of debt. Okay, and the debenture, the people who have provided the loan through debenture, they are called the debenture holders. All right, and they get the fixed rate of interest on the debentures that has been already decided at the time of issue of debenture. And I've told you in the previous class, students, we prefix a percentage with the debentures, like 9% debenture, 10% debenture. So this percentage is the rate of interest which will be provided on the debentures, and these debentures are redeemed during the lifetime of the company. That means they have to repay it. Okay, now we will talk about the merits of debenture. Appeal to cautious investors. Here the debentures are preferred by those people who are who believes in the security and safety and who are having the conservative ideas and very cautious about the things. Okay, so they feel themselves very safe and secure and they don't want to take risk. All right, fixed income they are getting. Next one is control. So this was the merit, right? That was a good point for the people who have invested in the company. Second one is telling control. Debenture holders don't have voting right, and therefore the control lies in the hands of the equity shareholder, and the control is not diluted. So that is positive point from company's point of view. Means shareholders point of view, it is positive one, that if they issue the debenture, so their control is not diluted because they are having the voting rights. Next one is economical source. The cost of raising fund through debentures is less as compared to cost of preference and equity shares, as interest payable on debenture is a tax deductible expenses. Both the things, this is economical at both the places. when we issue the debenture, so that time also its cost is less, because when we issue the equity and preference shares, so its cost is very high, and debentures cost is less comparatively. And when we pay the interest, so that is we can save the tax. If we issue the debentures and we pay the tax, so that reduces profit is reduced because of interest, and tax liability will be less, so that way we can save the tax also. So this is also advantageous for the company. Next is tax saving. This point we have discussed with this only. Next is suitable during stable earning. Students, it's very good source of finance, when you have a stable earning, fluctuations are not there, and fixed income is there, so easily you can pay interest. So issue of debenture is suitable in the situation when the sales and earnings are relatively stable, means you have a surety that you will get this much amount to pay the debenture holder. Next one is flexibility. Well, debentures provide financial flexibility as they can be redeemed when the company has surplus funds. It minimizes the risk of overcapitalization. We have discussed about the problems of overcapitalization. Students, any of the situation is not good, either overcapitalization or undercapitalization. It should be accurate, approximate, right? So if due to some reason, if you find that your capital is overcapitalized, right, more than sufficient you have, something extra you have, so you can pay it back. If you have issued the debentures, so debentures are redeemed during the lifetime of the company. And second thing, later on you will study that after giving a notice and certain formalities after performing, you can redeem the debentures. So there is a flexibility because of debentures. Okay, if you find any overcapitalization situation, so you can pay back to the debenture holder. All right, so these were the merits of debentures. Now some limitations, because pros and cons go side by side. So fixed obligation, in case when a company is not having sufficient profit, okay, so it has to meet the fixed obligation, means the interest on debenture it has to pay, either company is having the profit or loss. So that time this is a negative point, right? The company will be in a problematic situation. Next we have charge on assets. Students, generally your debentures are secured loan, okay, means when company issues the debentures, okay, so it has to keep certain assets as a mortgage with the company, right? So assets आपने mortgage के लिए रखी है, so later on if you require any other loan, so your assets are not free from charge, these are already mortgaged. So this is one of the negative point. Next one is reduction in credibility. Students, we have discussed that if you have your own funds, is that better situation, or you have the borrowed fund? Of course, when you have your own house, so that's better than the rented one. Okay, so reduction in credibility, your credit worthiness of the company reduces when you have acquired funds from the debentures. So the credit worthiness of a company which has issued a large number of debentures is low. Financial institutions and lender hesitant to lend funds in the companies having more of debentures. Okay, so there is a proper ratio. If more than that ratio you issue, so that is not favorable. Next one is no voting right. Here we are talking on behalf of the debenture holders. So debenture holders have no voting right in the management of the company, and therefore they are at the mercy of the shareholders. They don't have any voting right, controlling power, nothing sort of the things. Okay, and next one is a repayment obligation. The redeemable debentures have to be paid back on the due date, on the specified date, the time when we have issued the debentures, so that time we decide the rate of interest and the amount of their redemption, means when we pay back. Okay, so these dates has been finalized at the time of issue only. And suppose company is not having proper fund that time, so this is adverse situation for the company. Although it is good at the time of overcapitalization, this is your positive point, it comes in the advantages. Okay, that if you have extra capital, so you can return it through the redemption of debenture. But if company is not having the sufficient funds, not having the cash flow, so this positive point converts into the negative one, because this is fixed obligation and company has to pay somehow. All right. Now we have discussed about the shares in detail in the previous classes, and debentures we have discussed now. Now comparison, this will take very less time. It is here we are talking about the nature. Shares are considered as a part of the owners fund and debentures are a part of borrowed fund. Status of holder, they are the shareholder, they are known as shareholder, and they are known as debenture holders, considered as a creditor of the company. Voting rights, shareholders, of course they are having the voting right, but debenture holders don't have any voting right. Control of the company lies in the hands of the shareholder, but debenture holders are not having any control. Right to return, equity shareholders have no right to get regular return in case of the losses. Okay, means when the profits are there, only then equity shareholders are paid. But in case of debentures, they have a right to get the return, either whatever the situation is there, either there is a profit or loss in the company, they will get their return. Security, no assets of the company are mortgaged as security against the issue of share. Student, shares are not secured, so no assets has been kept as a mortgage against the shares. Okay, but in case of debentures, these are the secured loan and company has to keep its assets as a mortgage. Repayment, except redeemable preference shares, we don't pay the shares during the lifetime of the company. Okay, so no other shares are redeemable, they are paid back at the time of winding up only, after setting the claim of all the claimants. Okay, means we pay to rest of the people, and if something remain, then we pay to the shareholders. Fine. And here debentures are generally redeemed on expiry of a fixed period of time, which we decide at the time of issue of debentures. Okay, risk, if we talk, so shareholders, they are the primary risk bearer, very risky. Okay, and debenture holders are quite safe. They don't have any risk, minimum risk you can say. And return, the return which shareholders get, that is termed as dividend, and the return which debenture holders get, that is termed as interest. Okay, now convertibility, only convertible debentures are there which can be converted. Shares can't be converted into debentures. Sorry, I've taken another point. So convertibility we are talking, shares can't be converted into debentures or in any other kind of security, but debentures, with the time being, debentures can be converted into shares or any other kind of debentures also. Nature of return, dividend on shares is an appropriation of profit. Of course, here the dividend on shares and here interest on debentures, but it's talking about the nature of return. Okay, so dividend on share is the matter of appropriation of profit. Students, we have discussed in the partnership. Okay, I'm sorry, you are of 11th standard. I thought we have discussed in 12th standard in partnership what is appropriation and charge. Okay, so I will teach you in accountancy class what is appropriation and charge on the profit. Here I can explain this much only. Appropriation of profit means whenever you have a profit, only then the dividend is paid to the shareholder, and that also we manage, means how much we have to pay, that we decide. And here charge means it is your fixed obligation, you have to pay. Okay, so interest on debenture is a charge against the profit. You have a profit, so you have to pay. But if you have a profit here, so you are not bound to pay, you have to appropriate, means how much out of the profit you will be paying. All right, so here we have completed the differences between shares and debenture. Now we will proceed with the second topic, second point of your, or you can say the second instrument of your debt fund. Okay, borrowed fund. This is public deposit. As its name is guiding students, public deposit, we get the, we means company get the deposits from public. Okay, means it is inviting the public for this, and public is asking for this public is providing loan to the company. Okay, students, public deposit, that are raised by the organization directly from the public are known as public deposits. These deposits are invited by the companies from the public mainly to finance working capital needs. Here the money which company gets from the public, that is special, most probably that is used for the working capital purpose, means for the short time of the period it requires, but sometime it may use for the medium term also. Okay, and the percentage of interest which is paid to the lender, means the public. Okay, public has provided the loan to the company, so company will be giving interest to public, so that rate of interest is quite higher, right? And this loan is unsecured. This is unsecured loan, that's why the rate of interest is higher. Otherwise people, they don't apply for this. Both the negative points will be there, that the rate of interest is also higher and this is also unsecured. Okay, so we have to we have to convince the people somehow. So as these deposits are unsecured, the company having public deposit is required to set aside 10% of the deposits maturing by the end of the year. Students, it's telling that it is mandatory for the company who has issued this public deposit, I mean who has acquired the money from the public deposit, that the amount which is going to be redeemed in this particular year, so 10% of that amount a company has to keep at one side. यानी 10% का रिजर्व बना के रखना है, जो भी अमाउंट आपको रिडीम करना है. ऑलराइट, so the amount so set aside can be used only for paying such deposits. So this 10% reserve can be used for the repayment of this loan only, and this is a source of both medium and short term finance. Generally companies invite public deposits for a period of 6 months to 3 years. Okay, so this is termed as short term and medium term loan. Rate of interest offered to the public deposits are usually higher than the rate of interest on bank deposits. Any person who is interested in depositing money in an organization can fill up the prescribed form, so and so. Fine. Now we will discuss about the merits and demerits of this public deposit. What are the benefits? So first one is economy. Students, it doesn't, like company which is collecting money from the public on the name of public deposit, it doesn't have to pay much cost like shares and debenture, right? So public deposit are beneficial to both the depositor as well as the organization. While the depositors get higher interest rate than bank, right? The people who are depositing their money, those who are providing, so they are getting higher return comparatively to the bank. And the cost of public deposit to the company is less than the cost of borrowing from the banks and financial institution. So here they are not comparing with share and debenture, it is comparing with other sources. If company is having this loan from the bank and from other financial institution, so it has to pay a higher rate of interest. Okay, but if it is collecting from public, so comparatively less rate of interest they are offering, right? So cost of borrowing is less. So the cost of public deposit to the company is less than the cost of borrowing from the bank and financial institution. Next is no dilution of control. Well, company needs funds somehow, either from the shares or debentures or public deposit, so and so, right? But if it gets from the public deposit, so its control is with the company only. Control lies in the hands of the shareholder only. It don't have to dilute. Okay, no charge on the assets because these are the unsecured loan. Debentures are secured. If you issue the debenture, you have to keep your assets as a mortgage. But if you have issued the public deposits, so there won't be any charge on the assets, and you can utilize these assets to have more funds if you want, right? Or if you want to issue the debenture, that time you can utilize your assets to keep as a mortgage. Tax saving, of course, interest you have to pay, and this way you can save your tax, because after paying the tax, your taxable income will be calculated. I mean, tax liability will be calculated. Next one is simple procedure. So it's very simple, not much complicated formalities are there. So the procedure for obtaining public deposit is very simple. For obtaining public deposits, companies don't make permissions from controller of capital and there is no need to get listed in any stock exchange market. The company raising deposits has to simply give an advertisement and issue a receipt to each depositor. This is not so complicated like shares and debenture where the stock exchange has also involved and you have to get your company listed at the stock exchange, so and so many formalities are there. So here the company is free from all these kind of formality, okay, and it's quite simple procedure. It has to advertise and issue a receipt and get the money. Fine. So these were the merits of public deposits, and let's talk about some demerits or limitations. First one, it's talking about not suitable for new concerns. Students, it's quite clear that if your company is a new one, so nobody is going to invest in your company, or you can say nobody is going to give you loan because they don't know about your reputation, your goodwill, your credit worthiness, your dealing in the market, right? But if any company which is already existing in the market and having a very nice goodwill, if Reliance company wants to issue the public deposit, so easily that can have, right? But if any ABC Limited wants to have this money from this source, so that will be difficult for the public because public doesn't believe the new company, so they will not invest their money in the new company. Okay, next one is uncertainty. Public deposits are an uncertain and unreliable source of finance. The company may not get deposits when it needs. The depositors may withdraw their deposit at the time of recession of the company. If a large number of depositors simultaneously withdraw their deposits, the company may find it difficult to repay a huge amount at once. It's telling their uncertainties are there. As when company wants money, as we have discussed, not suitable for the new concerns. Company want money right now. Company has advertised it, but quite possible that public is not providing you money. Public is not accepting this. Public is not subscribing for the public deposit. So that time this will be problematic situation for you. Okay, and this is also possible that public has applied, but due to recession, due to certain changes and circumstances are changing, so public is withdrawing their money, and a few people has withdrawn and some more people they have withdrawn, right? So from where the company will bring the huge amount to pay immediately to all the people, right? If the people have this tendency to take out the money, so the company will be in the problem. So due to uncertainty, this is not suitable. Next, we have limited funds. We have certain benefits we have discussed about. Fine, it is good, but you can have, if the company is old one we are talking, okay, so you can have only limited fund from this method. So if your requirement is huge, you need more funds, then this method is not suitable at all. Okay, so the amount of funds that can be raised by way of public deposits is limited because of legal restrictions. Maximum 25% of the share capital and free reserves. So this is also one of the restriction they have imposed, that whatever your share capital has been decided or you have issued, so 25% of the share capital and free reserves, that's all. Means share capital and free reserves ka 25% you can issue only, not more than that. All right, so you have a limitations of that. Next, we have not suitable for long term financing. Fine, we have discussed that it is suitable for the medium and short term finance, but suppose your requirement is for the long time of the period, you want to expand your business, you want to grow your business, you want to purchase certain fixed assets, okay, so that time this public deposit won't be suitable for you. Fine, so this is suitable only for a few purposes only, okay, for the short term and medium term you can say. All right students, so here we have completed this topic, public deposits, its merits and limitations we have done, and next topic is your trade credit, which we will be taking in the next class, and the next class will be the last one for this chapter. Okay, and after that we will have the another chapter. So students, please keep learning. Your midterm exams are heading nearer, so don't take the things lightly. This time we will be providing you assignments and you have to solve these paper yourself, okay, and marks will be given. So if you didn't start studying, please start it. Prepare your notes properly, do it in your copy. Better first you learn and then write in the copy instead of cheating from the book. Okay, so keep learning on the daily basis. Thank you.